times in my life when I thought I had already had learned how to swim, but it wasn't until a certain experience had happened that I really knew in my heart that I could really swim without any apprehension in my life. I remember as a young boy, my father paid for my brother and I to take swimming lessons. And so we went through all the motions, and we did okay. We had the instructors, and they were our guide. They were there to guide us in the water. We had flotation devices to keep us floating as we learned to navigate the waters. I would, quote unquote, swim in about 4 to 5 feet of water. And in my mind, I had learned to swim. However, I was in water that I could actually stand up. And so ultimately, it was easier for me to think that I could swim because of the depth of the water. However, it wasn't until years later that I really truly found out what I was made of. I remember going out to the community pool, and I was with my friends during the summer, and one day they challenged me to go into the deep end. Of course, I had taken lessons in my mind, and I had learned to swim. I had been tested with instructors. I had passed the test in 4 to 5 feet of water. However, on this day, I was challenged by my friends to go into the deep end. Now, what was the deep end? The deep end was 12 feet of water. Tell your neighbor, can you swim in 12 feet of water? That's how you know that you really can swim. The deep end was 12 feet of water. The deep end, there was a diving board. The deep end was roped off to warn you of the depth of the situation. The deep end had depths that I had never swam in and had never seen before. And so one day I saw some of my friends, and they were jumping off the diving board into the deep end. So I said that I wanted to do the same. So what I did was I conjured up the nerve and I jumped off the diving board, only to learn that I couldn't swim as good as I thought I could. I couldn't swim as good in 12 feet as I could in 4 feet. And so as I jumped into the water and I floated up, I began to panic because I wasn't used to the pressure or the depth. It was more that I could handle. My feet could not touch the ground. My feet couldn't touch the bottom of the pool. And ultimately, I had to cry out to the lifeguard. I didn't care who my friends were. I didn't care who would tease me. I had to cry out to the lifeguard. All I knew is that I was in trouble and I was in need of saving. And see, what I want you to get from that story today is that in life, God is not always looking for some perfect people that know everything, that can handle everything, that got it all figured out. But God is just looking for somebody that is willing to be saved. God is looking for somebody to use for his glory. God is looking for somebody to use in order to show how he has the power. God is looking for somebody to use in order to show that he's merciful. God is looking for somebody to use to show that he's a God of grace. Is there anybody in this place that knows about the God of grace? God is looking for somebody to use in order to show that he's in the saving business. God is looking to show you that he can use you when everybody else thought that you couldn't do it. I don't know about you, but there has to be a witness here this morning that can agree with me that you want to be the type of person that God chooses to use. So let's